money mistakes people make in their 20s and 30s that is actually costing them a lot in the later years of their life. And most of these money mistakes are things people don't realize until it is too late. Some of these mistakes I made in my 20s, but immediately I entered my 30s, I was actually helped. So I started making smart money decisions that actually helped me to get to where I am today. I want to break down to you 5 money mistakes that people make in their 20s and 30s that is actually keeping them broke for the rest of their lives, and so that we can look at these things and avoid them and make smart money decisions that is going to actually help us in life to actually break into the place of wealth and abundance. You don't do the right things today to actually correct these errors in your 20s and 30s and do the right things. You spend decades of your life trying to fix these problems, trying to fix these mistakes that were created when they were young. A lot of people today in their 50s, 60s, when they look back and discover the mistakes they made when they were young, they say, how I wish we could actually rewind time so that we can correct these mistakes that we made. However, time will always keep going forward. It will never come backward. So you cannot be 21 years old today and tomorrow you expect yourself to be 19 years old. Well, in most cases, women always tell us that they are 25 years old today. So next year, they will be 19. Well, anyhow it is, all I know is that age will keep on counting. It doesn't go back. It will keep on going forward. So here are the money mistakes that people make in their 20s and 30s that actually keeps them poor for the rest of their lives. Number 1, delayed investments. The younger people are not actually interested in making investments. Now, let us say 2 people want to start investing. One is 20 years old, the other one is 30 years old, and they invested the same amount of money, assuming they invested $1,000 US, both of them. But one is 20, one is 30, and they left their investment until both of them got to 60 years. That means one actually invested for 30 years, while the other one actually invested for 40 years. Now, at the end of this 30 years, 40 years adventure, because both of them are now 60 years old, you will think and that both of them are going to reap the same dividend. No, they are not going to get the same thing, because the power of compounding will be there to make the most difference on the one that actually started investing at the age of 20. There will be a whole lot of differences that will be there. Warren Buffett made most of his money in investments when he got to 50 years old. The man started investing at the age of 11, 12, 13. Before he got to 50 years, the everywhere was bright enough for him to begin to reap from the investments he made. So the power of compounding was there to work for at least 27 to 30 years. And within these years, a lot of doors were open. And most of the money he made at the age of 50 upwards. 95% of his wealth was made at that time, because the age was there to actually speak for him and make much difference. So the younger generations are not actually interested in investing, and these are part of the things that most of them suffer at old age. So most times it's not about the money that people are earning, it's about their willingness to actually send their money on errand so that their money can actually come back to them with much more money. When someone starts investing early, the age, the time is there to actually be an advantage to that person, so that the power of compounding will actually play a major role, making the much difference in the life of that individual when he becomes old. Secondly, at young age, you can actually afford to take some risk. You can actually afford to try 1 or 2 things. You can actually afford to somersault, and you discover that your backbone will not actually be broken. So imagine businesses that have high risk, they have the possibility to actually pay more, other than businesses that are low risk. You understand? So one of my mentors, Charis, he said that when you are young, you can actually somersault and you'll not have injury on your back. But by the time you get old, you cannot even try to somersault. There are certain things you cannot even do, because as at this time, age is now on your side, and age will not even allow you to do that thing and successfully come out. So when people start investing early, they can actually afford to take certain risks, and those risks in many cases will pay, and in less cases, it might not actually pay or work as the person thought of it. And failing in investment does not actually mean that you are not actually going to make money. It's actually a very big lesson, because failure is actually the beginning of success. So most people are actually afraid of investing in high risk investments because they are actually afraid of losing money. But most people that have made more money, they have actually made more money in those businesses that are actually has a lot of high risk on it. So we need to actually look at this and actually consider this when we are young, very young, in our 20s and 30s, especially in our 20s, so that we can actually make wealth. Number two, buying things on social media. There is nothing wrong in buying things on social media, but there is everything wrong in trying to buy what you saw someone wear on social media, and that thing is not actually important to you. So you discover that most of the young generation, people in their 20s, 30s, they see a celebrity wear a particular clothes, a particular shoe, a particular belt, a particular ring, a particular chain, a particular whatever on social media, and you see them. By the time they come out, they want to go and buy those things. So you discover that those things are not actually need for them. They don't actually need it, but because they want to copy the person they saw on social media, they want to belong to the group of people that are actually happening. So you discover that they will buy those things. They want to upgrade their phone. They want to upgrade their whatever. They want to upgrade everything so that they will actually feel belonged in society. And by the time they are not actually trending, wearing those trending things, when you they will think that they are outdated. They will think that they are not classy. They will think that nobody is there to actually commend them or look at them, or maybe they are not actually happening in town. They are not actually bubbling. So these are most of the things that keeps people poor. Most of the mistakes that people do in their 20s and 30s. The third is lifestyle inflation. Many people in their 20s and 30s, whenever their salary increases, you discover that they upgrade their phone, they upgrade their house, they upgrade everything around them, they upgrade the kind of food they eat, they take Uber everywhere they are going to. You discover that they begin to do things that is equivalent to the raise they received in their pay. You discover that these are most of the mistakes that keep people poor. Is some of the things that people are not supposed to do. At this age, you are supposed to have a budget, have a plan, you are supposed to work on the budget you have. You are supposed to make some savings, and you are supposed to save up money for investment. One of my mentors said, if you cannot save 10% of every amount of money you make at the end of the month, then you are heading to poverty. There is no future for the person. So I agree with him, because 10% of whatever we earn at the end of the month is supposed to be saved and is supposed to be invested. And this money is something that is supposed to go on errand for us to help us make more money. Because if you have money and the money you have is not actually making more money for you, then you are setting yourself up for a difficult life. Number four, personal upgrade. This is one of the mistakes that the youths, the people in their 20s and 30s make. At this age, this set of people are actually chasing money without investing in their lives. They are not studying books. They are not in any way investing in their lives for their own personal development. Now, one thing is certain at this age, that whatever value you bring to the table is equal to the amount of money you take. Well, we call this learning equity. Learning equity. It's an equity that says the value you bring is equal to the amount of money you collect. I've always told people, money will always go to the place of value. If there is no value, there is no money. If there is value, there is always money. Money goes to the places of value. So whenever you see people that are in scarcity, check them. They don't have value. They are not bringing any value. They are not bringing any good offer to the table. But anywhere you see that there is abundance, wealth is flowing in that place, go and check it. There is numerous, abundance of value that those people are bringing. So if you want to make more money, bring more value. If you want to make less money, bring less value. So that's it. So most people at this age, what they do is that they are running from work to work. In the morning, they jump out, and there is nothing wrong in going to work. However, everything is wrong if you are working at this age and you are not investing in your personal development. You are not studying. You are not learning new things that is going to upgrade you. No, all the days of your life, you are going to live paycheck to paycheck. There will be nothing to write home by the time you get old. And most people at this time make the mistake of thinking that the strength they have at this 20s, 30s, that strength is going to be there by the time they get to 60s, 70s. They will discover that by the time they get to 50, their legs will begin to ache, their neck will begin to ache, their head will begin to ache. Now, at this time, they will no longer be able to run as they ought to run. And the time they are supposed to invest in their lives, to develop their lives, they did not actually invest in it at that time. And they will begin to reap the bad fruit that they cultivated for themselves. They will begin to blame people. This person is responsible for my failure. This person is responsible for this. Meanwhile, they did not actually invest enough time when they were young to actually build themselves and develop themselves. Nobody is going to pity you through life. No. The best people can give you in life is to give you peanuts. They can give you peanut. I will always tell people, don't beg your way to the top. No, you walk your way to the top. And by the time you do the right thing, you are going to have the right result. If you do the wrong thing, you are going to have the wrong result. So Make sure you hit the like button and sub so that we can build well together in this community.